Hey there, Starcraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of Starcraft Brood War Remastered. Today, it's going to be a match between Last and Zero here on Circuit Breakers. Cast a game between these two players on the same map back on May 22nd, but this is a different game because I checked. If you want to see that, let me know, and I'll put it in the top right-hand corner or in the description. It is a very long macro game as well. Top left-hand corner is the red Zerg player. It is Zero. And in the top right-hand corner, our orange Terran player, it is Last. Now, Last. What more can be said about this guy? He is very excellent. Might be the best Terran player alive right now for StarCraft Brood War. That is probably up for debate. I assume in the comments you can let me know if I'm wrong about that. It is always good to get feedback, and I do want to point out, I know I say this a lot, but I read every single comment anybody ever makes on any of my videos, no matter what. I've read every of the thousands and thousands and thousands of comments that have come in on videos. I've been doing this for the last 5 years. I'm not big enough to where I can't, so I do. I enjoy reading. I enjoy comments. I enjoy discussion that goes on. And it just feeds naturally into reading the comments on my own channel. Alright, so hatch first here. It very much looks like out of Zero. Although, never mind. We're just going to pool it. Yeah, about a 9 pool there. Not a big deal. As the Overlord pops. Meanwhile, Terran is actually setting up the supply depot so that the SCVs harvest more efficiently from the refinery. That will show up sooner rather than later. Overlord scouting to the bottom left here, trying to see what's going on. This is a pretty good map for expanding if you're a Zerg. This base is really nice and available, but also down in the bottom left there's a place you can go and then take this one as like a 5th. To take this as a 5th is honestly a pretty fantastic sight. Something that most Zergs will like to do. Terran, is he going? No, he can't be going command center first. Dude, Last? Are you seriously this confident? No. Okay. Oh, no, he is. He's throwing up on the high ground. Okay. So Last is command center firsting here today, which... All right, man. You do you, buddy. I'm not even sure what to say about this other than it's incredibly greedy against a Zerg who went pool first, which you don't know he went pool first because, well, he didn't scout. The drone does scout here. Man, send those lings out. You've got 3 sets of them, which makes a total of 6. Send these out and start going to town because there will be no Marines to stop you at all here. Drone tries to get in. Look at this block by this single SCV is blocking this entire wide ramp by himself. That's incredible. Man, so the lings do show up. The SCV sees this and Last says, oh, snap. I am in trouble. I need to start making Marines now, but my barracks isn't done yet, unfortunately. Expansion coming up back behind this. This isn't a crazy all-in any type of a thing here at all. The Zerglings running as fast as they can. They don't have metabolic boost, nor will they, honestly, as we're just throwing up a macro hatch instead of going for that gas. And yeah, look, the barracks is almost done. You're going to lose some SCVs. There's nothing you can't go wrong. Dude, get up there. Go. See that command center timing? You know what that is. You know what's going on here. Oh, all the SCVs are pulled off the line to try to handle this. Are any none? Okay, so literally 0 SCVs have died at this point. There's the one. One SCV's gone down. The Marine is here. If the Lings focused on this one Marine, they could get so much more done, I feel like here. But instead they're running about kind of willy-nilly. Like they're just here to scout. I really feel like they could kill that Marine and have a great time the rest of the next couple minutes here. But instead... cruising around, just scouting up the joint, checking that second barracks. 2 Marines are out now with an SCV meat shield set up, and that's not good. That is not a good look here from my man Zero. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to kill any more SCVs, I don't think, unless there are some really wounded ones in here. Which... oh, there was one-ish. Fair enough. Man, that was kind of disappointing for Zero. I'm not going to lie. To have 6 lings show up when 0 Marines are on the field and get maybe 3 SCV kills is disappointing. Just is. I mean, more lings are cruising out now, but what are we going to do with them now? Marines are present. Again, there's probably a bunker going to be set up here at some point. If Last were aware of these lings coming across the map, he would make a bunker, but he's not actually. So, 0 trying to 2-base it here a little bit versus his opponent. Metabolic boost still isn't done, by the way, and that's a lair. And is we get second gas? Nah. No, the thing is, if Last survives this, as he has been, he's going to be way ahead in this TVZ. Disgustingly ahead in this TVZ. Because look, 2 base versus 2 base. able to double pump SCVs for some time now, and now throwing up a supply depot wall for the Marines to hide behind is so good. Lings are waiting for speed to finish. It is really nice for speed to finish for these Lings, and there it is, and now he jumps in. The timing really nice for Zero, by the way, but he can't. He can't. He's going to sit here in this mineral line away from where the Marines can attack him. He is going to stop all mining on this natural base entirely, which is awesome. At least for a little bit. And then just head on back home, surprisingly. Or nope, maybe diving back in. He's just kind of doing a bit of a dance here, trying to avoid getting hit by these Marines and maybe prevent these SCVs from doing much. Nice block up here, too. Look at this positioning by last. This is just masterclass StarCraft Brood War out of this dude. The fire bats have now shown up. They're ready to rock versus these Zerglings for sure. Yeah, there's no way. You're not breaking this with Lings. I mean, Zero is threatening, but I just don't see it. I really don't. Yeah, and they know it too. They do. Alright, so second gas has been taken. There is a Spire coming up in a way that aligns the drones with that extractor. Same story up here with the SCVs, as we see. Engineering bay coming up to deal with potential Mutalisks off of these two bases. I'm not sure if the SCV scout that we saw earlier did note the lack of a third base or not. He did check, I think. He checked down here, it looks like. Didn't see anything, and I think that's enough to tell you. Two-base Muta definitely in play here. He just scanned, so I'm sure he saw the Spire coming up, or at least saw the second gas in the natural base, and said, all right, I've got to prepare for Mutalisks. He's going for range for Marines. Engineering bay is done. Spire is almost done. The timing could not be better for last, honestly. He started making it when he needed it. And then, if in fact Mutalisks start popping out, and I don't know why they wouldn't, considering we're at 800 in the bank there for Zero, that's going to be 8 Mutas for sure. So the turret's got to start construction here soon. I mean, not right now, as 9 Mutas are now on the way, but sooner rather than later. Like maybe now. Let's say now. 10 seconds after they started. And then there they go. Alright, so we've seen this dance several times. Drone coming down for a third base, but boy, is it late compared to where Last was able to get his natural base out. I'm liking this from our Terran player. He's got a couple fire bats, he's got Marines, he's got medics in here. Honestly, the fire bats make such a difference versus these Zerglings. Zerglings and Mutalisks versus this group without the fire bats is kind of a stomp for the Ling Muta. But fire bats really do well against the Lings, and then there's not as much DPS available for anybody else. So 3 turrets coming up here, attempting to anyway. I mean, can you take those 2 down? Thinking, I don't know. Kind of thinking you can with 9 Mutalisks, but maybe I'm out. Maybe I'm wrong about this. He's trying to make sure the third turret doesn't come up, and he does force that one down. Lings running on up here, trying to work together with the Mutalisks in tandem here. And just threatening. Third base is coming up, and yeah, Last says, let's force the issue. Let's head on to the bottom left here and see if we can't take down this third base. There are some Hydras coming out now, which is beautiful. Lurker Aspect is coming in here too. This army a little bit out and exposed in the middle of the map right now. If these Hydras and Lings and Mutas get their act together and come in at the same time, Last's army might be in a bit of a position. But even if he doesn't manage to kill a base with this, it still fulfills its purpose of forcing Zero to make stuff other than drones. All Zero wants to do right now is to catch up an economy and just make drones and drones and drones and drones. And he can't if he's forced to make a bunch of Hydras here to defend, right? So, the army getting... I mean, they're not going home. This is an army that is going to kill the third base or die trying. And you know what? They might actually just get the third base, honestly. Last is... The timing here is impeccable. The composition is beautiful. He's got range on his Marines, so the Mutas can't even really dive in and pick them off. Yeah, they forced to cancel on that third. He forced a cancel on that third. Reinforcing units coming in. Getting wiped out there. So the army not as big for Last as he'd like it to. That is the jump on I was talking about there. I don't think there are any fire bats in that group at all. And as a result, everybody is dead. Yeah, lurkers, 3 lurkers at a time coming in. Backup third base being taken here out of Zero at that 9 o'clock position. Which again, he'd rather that was a 5th base. But it's not. And it will never be. As it is officially the 3rd base right now. So lurkers on the ramp. Lurker's moving out, actually, to try to see if we can catch this group that's really been running around terrorizing the left side of the map for some time now. Mutalisk group is sitting at 8, which is a great number. Only has lost 1 to this point. Zero playing pretty well with those Mutas right now. Defiler Mound coming up back home for the Zerg player. Working on spider mines. A little bit late on the spider mines for last. He kind of skipped that for other things, for the range on the Marines, for example. And I think it's paid off for him, honestly. The Zerg player at 10 minutes only has 2 bases, which is bad. But Consume's coming in for 0 now, which is bad for the Terran player. So we'll see how that happens to work out. Firebat, scout to see the 3rd base ever actually come up, and the answer is no, but it's right here. And there are lurkers out and about. Ooh, Ninja expand from 0, bottom right-hand corner too. We'll watch that with great interest. Once again, a Marine medic group here. We got lurkers, lings, and mutalisks. They don't feel like engaging at this point. It is +1 attack, by the way, for the Marines. The Zerglings have no upgrades at all, neither do the mutalisks. Working on ground carapace, but is not done yet for the Zerg. So actually catching half of the army, yeah, this is the problem with spreading out your army, is that everybody dies. If you're clumped up there as the Terran, you do much better in that situation. Probably everybody still dies just because there were lurkers and lings and mutas. It was pretty overwhelming, but the fact that the army was kind of split in half there was a problem. Oh, these dudes. Did they not check this base? Or are they worried about the same thing happening to them that happened to their buddies on the other side of the map? It seems like they are. Oh, man. Goodbye, everybody. I mean, 2 lurkers go down, which is awesome for last, but everybody dies anyway. Drop attempt. The Scourge say, how about maybe? How about maybe you get a drop attempt over here? Ow, that hurt. Okay, that was almost a full medevac. That is brutal stuff. 1 Marine on the ground survives because he was on the ground. Would it be interesting, honestly, if when things that, like dropships and overlords and shuttles and things, when they exploded and when they were killed, if there was a chance that a unit in there like falls to the ground and survives, like plane crashes, planes that have exploded in the past where like people have fallen out and lived. And that's really only ever happened a couple times that I'm aware of. Dude, this Firebat's going to kill this hatchery by himself. Somebody come stop him, please. Somebody come take down the single Firebat that's going to take down this entire hatchery by himself. Yeah, there's a lady who has the record for falling like 34,000 feet. A bomb in the luggage compartment of the airplane she was in exploded, knocked her unconscious. She fell 35,000 feet into some like jungle below, and the branches were just able to slow her down enough to where she didn't die. Ridiculous, I say. Oh, I love the Nidus Canal evacuation idea. That's nice. So all the drones don't die. The hatchery's going to die, though. There's no saving that at all. These Marines are ready to rock on that thing. And the creep colony not going to survive here either. The good news for Zero is that he's got a lot of bases all around the map right now. And they all have gas, which is exactly what you want as a Zerg player, are bases that have a ton of gas here. 115 to 92 overall supply in favor of the Terran player. Where the heck? Ooh, a Dark Swarm. Dark Swarm here. Ready? Go! Ha ha ha! Can't break this now. Man, 1 spell honestly makes all the difference in the entire world. These guys would have tried to go for it if they were just the lurkers, but because there's Dark Swarm, they have to retreat. That's amazing. Vulture shows up at attempted sneaky ninja base, which is not really sneaky anymore because Last knows about it. But Spider Mines taking out a few lings in the middle of the map there. Plague being researched by the Zerg player and just working on vultures now. This might be a mech switch here from Last, which we've seen. We've definitely seen in the past here. All right, so Sunken plus handful of Zerglings who do happen to have 1 armor. Not going to be enough here, as it turns out. They're not even trying. The lings roll up late. They kill a Marine. Nicely done, but this base is toast. So that's a couple hatcheries down from Last, or by Last, in a couple last couple of minutes here, which is really nice. But Zero's still on 4 bases. Still okay. He's not in a great position like he was before, but he's also not dying, which is good news. Now, are we making vultures? And yeah, man, this is a factory mech transition if I've ever seen one out of Last year. This is very much what we see from time to time. Lurker count getting nice. Irradiate on the Defiler this early is just brutal. He's got time to throw down a Dark Swarm, though, and that will result in the death of a couple of things. Ooh, another clutch Dark Swarm before the Defiler goes down. What great positioning on that. That was clutch, man. That Defiler was going to die any second. He gets down the Dark Swarm. And now the Lurkers can get into this 3rd base and really cause some problems here. Forcing a liftoff on that 3rd command center. The 4th base is happily up and running, which is nice for him. And he's building a 5th base in the bottom right. But the 3rd base is a graveyard. Dropping back here, or just that's a run back with vultures, though, giving as good as he gets. Going after this hatchery with the vultures, if at all possible. Ling's cruising on down to try to get rid of those dudes. The mutas, that's what you guys are for, though. Mutas need to get over and actually take down those vultures, please. All right, so the Lings are trying. Dark Swarm comes up. I'm not sure if that was entirely necessary and in that location, but yeah. Mutas are just like, we are not interested in killing vultures. That is beneath our station. And as a result, a lot of Lings die that did not need to, as it turns out. So we're seeing vultures. 3rd base. The lurkers are denying all mining here, but a single tank is trying to clear out the lurkers that have taken up residence in this general area. And Zero needs to get out. Zero, get out, buddy. More vultures cruising on in, man. Ling's handling them fairly well, all things considered. Mutalisks attacking at the 3 o'clock position, this 4th base of last. A lot of SCVs going down there too, unfortunately. And the lurkers finally decide it's time to evacuate the area after the tank has 4 kills. One of those is a Zergling, so whatever, but yeah, Mutalisks being really annoying. It's not that we're going Mutalisk, it's just he's had these for the whole game. So might as well engage with them. Nice irradiate though. Good split off there too. And yeah, I don't know if this space is going to happen or this one, honestly, from last. He's trying. Vultures are out on the map. Dealing with Zerglings here, there, and everywhere. More lurkers in production coming on in. Lings on top of that tank. They're going to take it down, actually. That's not bad stuff. And the 3rd base, once again, forced to be lifted off. Irradiate on the Defiler. He's got a Plague. A Plague would be not bad at the situation. He does. He tosses it down. It wasn't the most well-placed one of all time, but it was good enough. As it stands, Mutalisks could deal... Oh my gosh, the SCV... These mutas, though... Oh, everyone's all stacked up there. All right, that's a free buffet of SCVs here. A couple Marines do manage to actually take down the Mutalisks, though, without losing even one of their number because the mutas were so previously injured from prior engagements. Going for another run by here. Nope, not at all. Ling's blocking that one off quite nicely. Engagement up at the north of 3rd base. This is turning into an insane game thus far. What is this? Oh, a Ling gets into that 5th or 4th base or 5th base or whatever it is. The 3rd by last looks like it's never going to happen. Coming on in, Dark swarming it up here. Spider Mines, though. Turns out Spider Mines do not care about your Dark Swarm. And the splash damage of the tank's doing pretty well there, too. Man, there is just orange everywhere on the map right now. And red sneaking on into different places here, too. The 4th base at the 3 o'clock. Try to go after the SCVs on the gas at first, if at all possible here. But it is 178 to 113 supply in favor of last. Like, all the damage that Zero has done thus far has been good. But last macro has been through the roof. Zero taking a base at the 12 o'clock, which is fantastic for him. If he can hang on to it. The Lurker... Oh, Dark Swarm wears off. And the Lurkers immediately run in to try to see what they can do. Just get massacred by tanks instead. So... Okay, I think we're officially at the point where we see, can this Zerg player handle the mech and the mass tank count of the Terran in the late game? Because the answer is no. The answer previously to every other ZVT I have cast on this channel where tanks are involved, the answer is no. Zerg can't do it. They try to go Queens, it doesn't work. They try to go Ultras, it doesn't work. They try to go Hydras with Dark Swarm, it just doesn't work. So, we'll see. This one Mutalisk not actually attacking for some reason. How is that even possible? Hold position, I guess. I don't know. So this orange is either floating barracks or spider mines. Or actual army, as it turns out. That tank count is getting intimidating, and they have 1-1. Yeah, Zero forced to retreat from this position. Not something that he wants to deal with ever right now. Ling's trying to get up on top of these dudes, but walking... Look at these Lings. Watch. Hey, one of them made it to the tanks. He's dead now. Yeah, Charon boosters coming in just in case, I guess, Guardians are part of the play here. But it is Ultralisks from Zero today. But against somebody as good as last, even with Dark Swarm, this 3rd base has just been cursed. An ancient gypsy placed a curse on this 3rd base and said, last, you'll never be allowed to have it during this game. And he's like, what are you talking about? Because it was far in the future, but that day has come. Let's see, Overlord dies or Missile Turret dies? Hey, Missile Turret dies first. Surprise! Grand surprise. Yeah, Ultralisk trying to take down tanks that are unsieged. Doing pretty well. They don't have speed yet, obviously. You can see them kind of trundling around. Trundly more than usual when they don't have the Anabolic Synthesis upgrade. And he's doing alright. I mean, he's got 6 armor, which is nice, but the tanks are just a beautiful answer to them. Anything that hits hard and hits slow are the answer to Ultras. The armor means things that hit fast are bad against them, because every time a hit comes at them, it counts, and their armor is applied. So Marines are bad against Ultras for that reason. They attack fast. But tanks hit slow, and that 6 armor is taken away from a really solid, like, 85 damage. So the ratio of what you're helping with armor is worse. $154 to $196 supply. Zero is coming back. Having this north base is nice. Irradiate on the Ultra is really, really bad for him, though. It's not enough to kill it, but it does weaken it quite immensely. This lurker at the third base gets shut down. But there are Ultralisks on standby. Adrenal Glands coming in for the Zerg player. Expanding again to the bottom left here is Zero. I can't even believe this base. The base count here for Zero is insane. We're splitting the map in half, you guys, here on Circuit Breakers. Dark Swarm, Ultras come in. How long do they survive? Not long, as it turns out. This guy doing pretty well for himself. Trying to stay in the Dark Swarm as well as he can, but Spider Mine's getting dragged in there. Ugh. Sure, some tanks die, but absolutely some Ultras going down with them. Tanks coming from south to north to help with the non-existent Ultralisk threat, or they just want to try to wipe out this 12 o'clock base, which I can't really blame them for. Marines coming over to the 9 o'clocker for the Zerg. Going to shut that down, but there are not actually any units there. Dropping is one way to handle this. We've seen Jaedong do this before. Ooh, and he Dark Swarms the ramp, so anybody coming up has to deal with those Lings. That's nice. Is you try to take down the factories as best you can. Sure, the 12 o'clock is going to die as a result. You try to take down tanks as they pop out of the factories rather than when they're part of huge sieged up tank lines. Not really working for those Ultralisks. But Lings trying to make stuff happen. Again, these are fully upgraded Lings with Adrenal Glands. SCVs are not going to do well against them at all. Supply blocking the Terran player can be a good idea here too, but the tank fire consistently at the 12 o'clock by Zero is going to be a problem for him as this continues on. Defiler kind of running around. I was going to say, running around willy-nilly, but he does eventually get wiped out by a couple attacks there. This single Ling wants to take down a factory all by himself, and he's doing pretty well with it, if we're honest. Armory gets taken down by a couple Zerglings. Again, it's not a fully, like, committed doom drop or anything, but it was a decent drop. It did some damage, killed some factories, did supply block, last quite nicely. Actually, the Zerg player supply blocked, I apologize. We're just fine if we're last fans here today. Ling Ultra, again, this is well defended from last because this is where his income is going to come from the longer this game goes on. So that's why breaking it is going to be really hard. It is much easier to prevent the Terran player from getting it than it is to break it. It's just these Lings cruising in, man. It's just not enough, is what I'm seeing here. Look, the tank count is like 15 up in this area, man. Why are you coming in here like this? Dark Swarm is good, but how much Dark Swarm do you have? All right, dropping on top of the tanks. That's much better. Out of Zero, holy crap, that was way better than I thought it was going to be. 0-1, Falcon Paladin 0. Haha, that wasn't even intentional, but man, I was wrong. Breaking this turns out to be a little bit easier if you just drop on top of everything and Dark Swarm the crap out of it with Lings and Ultras. Yeah, man, this base in the bottom right here for last is toast. All these SCVs look like they're going to die. Forcing lift off the command center is a problem. Irradiate on the Ultras means eventually they will kill themselves and others. But yeah, Armory down, Supply Depot's down, SCVs coming to harvest at this base, which is oversaturated, which is bad, but the tank response is nice, but this base is in trouble. Ultras trying to hang out here inside the Dark Swarm and force the tanks to deal with them that way. Oh, try to get down the ramp. No. That was not going to happen. Another Armory down. Although, are upgrades even necessary? The answer is, yeah, actually, further upgrades could be good for the Terran player, but they're not going to be available because of the armories that have been killed recently. So that might be something that helps Zero win this thing, is just kill armories, make upgrades hard for the Terran player, so you're on full upgrades for all your dudes, and they're at 2-1. So that might be something we see here today. Also, the drops, I think, were a major part of winning that engagement. Like, the major part. Without it, bad things happen for the Zerg. Running through the middle of the map, which is just sown with spider mines. Ridiculously sown with spider mines. And trying to find tanks to pick off here and there. There's a you know what? Just pick up. This is a pick up and go home situation, I think. Oh, yeah? Maybe. Nope. Plagues up the tanks, which are being repaired, which is actually sucking minerals out of last bank here. It is nice, though. It's a pretty nice bank out of last. 1,200, 1,800. Another drop coming on in. Oh, irradiating his own science vessels to try to wipe this out. Scourge taking one science vessel down. Irradiating the overlords too here is kind of incredible. And once again, this base is in a lot of trouble. Don't run down, though. Ooh, Lurker setting up at this bottom right-hand base. Dang, Zero is making stuff happen, and he's kind of my hero right now. From Zero to hero. My goodness, Zero's name lends itself to some really just low-hanging pun fruit there. Don't go down there. Down there is death. Shut down this base. That's all you got to be doing. Alright, I guess you can run into a lot more Lings and Ultras and cost maybe some more Dark Swarm. Maybe? Scourge getting some decent hits on the Science Vessels, but not nearly enough to stop them from irradiating every Ultra that comes into this base, it seems like. Yeah, Missile Turrets going down. That's pretty good stuff, honestly. Anything you can kill is going to be fine, but the tanks are the big problem. You know what? That Ultra in the corner, if he gets taken out, and he is, Ultra jumps on top of him. No, he's been irradiated enough that he's dead. That guy too. This guy. That tank just saw his life flash before his eyes several times, and he is still alive. SCV transfer. The bottom right has been officially broken. Officially broken by Zero. Are you kidding me right now? He's making this happen with drops like the total boss that he is. So these two bases are not income for last anymore. He is sitting on effectively, well, 2 bases worth of income. This third base, which is cursed, not actually been bothered for some time. Zero has decided to spare it a bit. Nice plague on the Science Vessels, though. Aw, man. Several of them extremely injured. Ultra has 4 kills, but he is no more. Some Scourge are coming out, but honestly, I'd rather see Mutalisks. Mutas flying over. All these Science Vessels would die. That'd be a major, major victory for the Zerg player. The problem with the Zerg player is that he didn't bring anything that can shoot up. And as a result, these bases, which again, were shut down quite nicely, are not dead. There are still command centers here, and they can still be mined from as the SCVs return home. This one might actually be taken down before last recognizes there's a problem here, which is unfortunate, because these fully upgraded Lings are problematic. Third base, there's another attack coming in, once again, dropping on top of the tanks, messing with their AI. Dark Swarm in there to boot. Oh my gosh, the Zerglings taking down tanks like nobody's business here, slowing it down. That command center went down to these Lings. These Lings are heroes of the swarm. It's an award given to any unit that takes down a base, especially if they're a Zergling. They get special consideration because they're so small. They don't hit that hard. So third base done. There's one mining base here, and look at all of this from the Zerg player right now. He's taking the 12 o'clock base again. We might actually see the first victory of a Zerg over a Terran player who mech transitions to a ton of tanks in the last half of the game. And again, I think part of the ingredients here involves killing armory, so the upgrades for the tanks are not as easy. Dropping on top of tank positions rather than attacking into them. Bringing along Dark Swarm. Look at these drops, man, and I think that's it. I think those are the key components to winning this game. And he was down. You remember how he was down like 180 to like 111 supply? I remember that. Now look at him, 162 to 117, wiping out this 3 o'clock position from last, removing it from the board. Crikey, this might be it. This might be the death knell, and it is! Last. GG's out in 29 minutes and 29 seconds. Holy cow. What a match. What an absolute... What an absolutely incredible game. And Zero gets the win. I gotta say, I am surprised by this. I thought Last had the upper hand here today, but Zero showed he belongs. He belongs amongst the upper echelon of Zerg players against elite Terran players. I mean, we look at units lost here in a couple minutes, and it's going to be obvious that Zero lost a ton of stuff, but the ingredients. Also, hit that like button, by the way, if you've forgotten to do so. Like buttons help me get more visibility and help me grow as a channel. So if you want to do that, please do. Anyway, yeah, man, the ingredients. Killing armories and stopping the upgrade paths for those tanks. If these are 3-3 tanks, it's a much different game. It really is. 2-1 is much easier to handle overall. Drop on top of tank positions here. Bring Scourge to handle. I mean, you're doing all the normal things. Ultra, Ling, Scourge, sure. But just the positioning. The positioning is what you want here. Drop on top of the tanks. Bring the Lings. Bring Lurkers. Attack multiple positions at once. Expand like a crazy person. Defend like a crazy person too, which again, it's not really fair for anybody to ask anybody to do that. But boosh. Boosh, I say. Incredible, incredible TVZ, and the Zerg player wins. I've been seeing your comments, guys. Like, man, Zerg hasn't gotten a win in a while on your channel. It's not me. I like Zerg. I main Zerg. I root for Zerg, but it's just I cast what I have. And sometimes what I have is a lot of late game Zerg losses, but not this one. Not this one at all. This might get an epic tag just because every base on the map was taken except for this one. Right here. This is the only one that was never taken. Never touched. Untouched mineral patches. Cool stuff. Alright. Let's final score this sucker. We're looking at 246,000 points for Zero. 223 out of Last. And yeah, 644 units lost for Zero in this game. But he produced 898. That ratio makes sense to me. Overall, buildings lost here. A lot more from the Terran player, but again, he has supply depots, and the Zerg player has overlords, so this is always a weird number if Zerg's involved. And then just expanded like a crazy person. Look at that. More gas mined, more minerals mined, and more total spent. Total spent by about 6,000 more units, which is a lot of Zerglings, man, and a few Ultras, too. So nice job by Zero. Played out of his head there. Got the win by taking to the skies, going for the drops. Should see more of that, honestly. I'd like to find more of those games. But all right, for now, that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of Starcraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. And you take care of yourself.